knew that we were gonna win. Had to be able to do it and execute what we wanted to do. Like that first drive when we threw that first ball 45 yards and got down to the red zone and then just couldn't do it. That kind of hurt, but our confidence never really went down. It was always right there, and we always kind of knew what we were gonna do.
For me, y'all kind of had from the Tuttle game because y'all went Tuttle, Hara, Blanchard. I mean, was that not or not Blanchard, Ardmore, and it seemed like from then it was hard for the defense to get a stop, and then even the first quarter of this game, it was hard for y'all to get a stop, and then all of a sudden the second quarter, it was like they couldn't get anything on y'all. Was there something that happened, or were y'all just everybody started locking in? I just don't. It was like a flip got switched.
Yeah, that switch definitely got flipped. I don't know what happened. They came to play that day. They knew what was on the line, and they wanted to stay in.
Yeah, and they didn't seem like they let up any. It was just that y'all were doing what y'all had to do,
executing the assignments.
Yeah.
Griffin, what do you think? It's been the last 3 games. The offense has been very productive, averaging 43 points per game over the last 3. Early on in the season, kind of maybe took a little bit to get into rhythm there offensively. But the last 3 games, the offense has been clicking. What would you attribute that to?
I attribute it a lot to our ability to run the ball has gotten a lot better over the last 3 games. However, it has been some lower level defenses, more explosive offenses. Hara, Ardmore, and Tuttle, of course, have very explosive offenses, while Blanchard and Chick maybe not so much, but they had stronger defenses limiting our offense. It was mostly a back and forth, but our ability to get downhill and run the ball has had a lot of effect on our gameplay.
Remind our audience the positions you play.
Right guard and nose.
So you play on the line, offense, defense. You play kind of next to this guy as center on the offensive line. You mentioned running the ball specifically. As an offensive lineman, do you take great joy in the fact that, hey, we're kind of running the ball down their throat, we're getting more yards per carry? Is that something you take pride in?
I take great pride in running people over, yes.
So if it's a pass call or a run call, you would prefer the run call?
I prefer the pass call.
Oh, really? Okay, tell us why again.
It allows for more freestyling. You have a lot more freedom with what you do, how to move your body, what moves you want to take on. There's a lot more freedom when it comes to pass blocking versus assignment-based run blocking.
Ozzy, would you agree or disagree with that?
I like doing them both. I like the part where we move the ball. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
It gives me time to rest on the sideline once we score.
You make me laugh whenever they jump off sides and then you just fall down. Like this week you did it. It was like 5 seconds after he was already offside.
He never touched
me.
He didn't touch him.
Yeah. And you get your rest there too.
Is that how long has that been going on? Where I mean, we've seen it multiple times this year, but you
I started at what 7th grade?
8th grade, one of the two.
Yeah.
Now, were you coached to do that, or is that just Ozzy's personality?
That was just something I wanted to do.
Okay.
Really never comes up to you and is like, you need to stop that. And he's just like,
sells the call,
Yeah.
If it doesn't touch him, if you make it look like he touched you, they'll give you the call.
Now, have you ever been wrong though?
Never.
Okay. Now that would be Griffin. Is there a debate on this?
There's been a couple times where it was close. I don't think they were offsides, but you went ahead and fell over and they gave you the call. There's been a couple times.
If I fall over, they give me the call.
Okay, so yeah, you sold it by falling over. That's really good. Now, has a defensive lineman ever given you grief over that? Like, dude, come on, I didn't touch you. Or...
The one on Friday did, yeah. He was very upset because he, quote, I did not touch you. Why are you falling over?
End quote. Okay.
Yeah.
As a center, Ozzy, help us understand your role. Is it just to snap the ball, or you can call out some of the defensive type for Brody, or what's the communication with you and the line in those moments?
Well, when I'm playing center, it's got to be communication with me and the line, but then also with my running back, let him know what he has and let him see what I'm seeing. I've been playing guard more these past few weeks. It's been a lot. It's been more freedom. Like I don't have to make the crucial calls, but I still let Stoley know what I see when when I want him to make a call.
Yeah, that's really good.
So when you're playing guard, who's playing center?
Stoley Melton.
Stoley?
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
Sometimes it's hard when y'all are all bunched there to get y'all's number. So I thought you had been it the whole time.
Yeah, and we've had Stoley on as well. The linemen have represented the Bethany Broncos coaches show well. That's who you're listening to right now. John Hickman, John Campbell on the call here at Zaxby's Northwest Expressway and MacArthur. We're on Facebook Live and should be streaming on thegospelstation.com. We've kind of maybe had a couple technical issues here or there, but we are on Facebook. So please help spread the word. Share this link and let people know that we're on there. Y'all got any family or anyone watching this evening?
Hi, Mom.
Mama.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you should do. All right, so Friday, as we talked about in the intro, the game in the standings doesn't count for anything. Medill also, sadly, has not won a game. I think they're 0 for 17 over the last 2 seasons. They've had a rough go at it this year, notwithstanding. How hard is it to go play this game?
It's still going to be difficult on a mental level. We have to execute properly because any given day in high school, you can go out and beat any other team. Of course, their mental doesn't seem to be all the way there, but we still have to go out and execute and be right in our own minds to go win by 70 points like we should.
It will be their senior night, so it's not like they have that mental battle. If there's any kind of rah type of moment, they know this game doesn't count for anything except we might get one win for our seniors. And of course they've lost a lot of games. So I would imagine they don't want to lose this game and come out and give your best shot. But Ozzy, for the Broncos, if this game doesn't matter in the standings, you probably want some sort of rhythm going into playoffs. So what are the specific things you're really hoping to accomplish on Friday night?
Get the run game going. Be able to establish it with not just Barron and X, but also like some of the freshmen, give them a chance to run the ball. And
Brody
really
has to run the ball.
Brody definitely, yeah. And then like we give them those chances to run the ball and let them get in that groove, so that way we can establish what we want to establish and show that we can run it with anybody and not just our starters.
Y'all got Brody 3 touchdowns this week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
80 yards along with those 3 touchdowns. He was over 200 yards, I think, in the air, like 280 something total yards. Brody had a really good game. The running backs or Brody, because of the quarterback run game, do they ever, guys, give you any kind of extra love or recognition?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Brody definitely does. Brody loves us. He would die for us like we would die for him. But Barron's quiet. You can tell the love when he looks at you a certain way, and then X is X.
X is X. There you go.
I love X.
Sophomore, young kid coming in, doing a really good job. I think he had a season high, career high, and on the varsity level with 81 yards.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
That's correct. Yes.
Did y'all give any player of the game awards away this week?
That will be the Thursday night.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Thursday night player game.
What about grading? Do you guys get graded out?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
At what time?
What time?
Like what day do you do?
Sundays.
Okay, so tell us what was your grading out this past week?
River got a 94 and I got a 92, 91. I think I had the most plays.
I do
But
indeed have the grade sheet. So highest grades were me and Chase Clinton at a 94. Then it was Angel at 93, Ozzy at 91, and then Stully at an 84.
Stoley, come on, man. That's a B, Stoley. I got a lot of A's in there. Now, do you guys get a little competitive with that?
oh yeah,
We do.
definitely, yeah.
Okay, so who's kind of got the best average of the season?
Chase,
Oh, okay. And y'all said that's easy. Who's in second?
Angel, yeah.
Wait, we
Is it
didn't
Angel?
get the top 2 here, too?
Is it
I mean,
Angel?
we're dealing with 3 and 4.
I struggled against Tuttle mightily. That was my last game
Hey,
at center.
we can't blame you on that one.
It's very close between me and Angel. It might be Angel just because I've missed some games this year, but I think it's close.
Okay.
So last year, the first 3 times y'all touched the ball, y'all scored against Medill. And then I think second team came in probably, if not in the first quarter, the very beginning of the second quarter. I don't know. Are you kind of expecting that? Like this will be kind of a break game, or y'all really expect something from Medill? I've seen they've scored a lot more points the last few weeks against teams, but
But who have they played the last couple weeks? I haven't seen their schedule.
they played Blanchard and Hera, I think.
I think I see everybody wants to go out there and put up points, but like I said, we have to execute. Can't just go out there and say that they haven't won a game. They're not. They're like, we gotta actually execute our plays. Well, yes, I do see us putting up 28 points in the first quarter, but we have to execute and make sure that happens.
The other thing we haven't seen is a shutout yet this year. You think y'all can get a shutout?
Yes, I do.
Against Medill?
Shutout.
100%.
I would hope so. Yeah.
I would hope we can.
Well, we'll get you out of here on this one. It's always probably not appropriate, or you're not supposed to look ahead. However, unique situations, Friday is not going to impact anything as far as, hey, we want to be in a good rhythm, those types of things. But as far as the standings go, we're pretty locked in to. And again, there's a couple things that still have to happen, but more than likely we're playing Elgin first round of the playoffs. Now, we got to experience a little bit of them in the scrimmage before the regular season started. So what are your thoughts? I know it's early, and I know we still got it Friday night with Medill, but what are your early thoughts of facing Elgin? They're returning state champs, by the way.
Yes, they're very basic, but they're very good at being basic. They aren't fancy. They run counter, they run zone, and they pass the ball over your head. But they're very good at being basic. They execute, and they get to the ball, and they move quickly. They don't let up on the gas. They just keep going and keep going.
That's a really good answer. Can you top that one, Ozzy?
I cannot, but I can say that Gonzo has said that this is probably the best O-line we're going to play. And
Okay.
I disagree.
he thinks it's Tuttle, but
I still think it's Tuttle.
But
When you buy your O line, you get a pretty good O line.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shots fired.
oh my goodness. Hey, they've admitted to it. You can ask either of us.
As the coaches, we were on the sidelines with them.
Yeah, but Elgin's a good team. They're a great team. Even you have to execute. Like I keep saying that, but
Yep.
you just have to do your thing in order to win football games. Like there's always a chance.
That's right. Well, we appreciate you guys so much for joining us. We know you're hungry, and we've got some Zaxby's for you. I know, Ozzy, you've mentioned many times that you'll ask the Chick-fil-A order of against the.
That was me.
That actually started.
Yeah,
did that start with you? Well, now throw in Friday night at least a Zaxby's order for us, okay?
I will try. Am I getting paid for this? Is this NIL?
Yes, we're going to give you some food here in a second. All right.
That's fair.
Well,
We even
thank
say that sometimes on the radio when y'all are walking out there. I was
Yes.
like, I wonder if they're asking about their Chick-fil-A orders.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys so much for joining us. Griffin Looper, Ozzy Brown, two key Broncos joining us, even though they're not the best graded out ones. They're still really, really good. So thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for having us.
this Tuesday evening. John Hickman, John Campbell here, Bethany Broncos Coaches Show. We've got a short break, and we'll be back right after this.
C&J Sporting Goods at 6604 Northwest 38th Street has been serving Bethany and the Metro for over 30 years, with 3 generations ready to serve you with the best shopping experience of product knowledge and customer service anywhere, with a wide selection of guns, ammo, ear and eye protection, law enforcement equipment, hunting, camping, and survival gear. If they don't have it, they will order it for you. Veteran owned and family operated. Call 405-789-8102. C&J Sporting Goods.
Tanko Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing is a commercial and industrial contractor. They offer end-to-end client experience that includes seamless communication, budgeting, staffing, on-site organization, and its solid quality handiwork every time. The past projects include both new construction and repairs and restoration. Occupied and fully operational job sites are never a problem. They can also plan, manage, and build multi-phase jobs. We are a turnkey plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and mechanical contractor. Tanko Company, give them a call at 405-255-7804. Again, that's 405-255-7804. Tanko.
John Campbell is your local health market agent that specializes in Medicare. Instead of talking through an 800 number, talk face-to-face with your local agent, John Campbell, to answer all your questions and find the company that best fits your needs. John Campbell Health Market serves Yukon, Bethany, and the surrounding area and will travel across the state of Oklahoma to meet with you. Call John Campbell Health Markets at 405-200-8414. Call 405-200-8414.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bethany Broncos Coaches Show. John Hickman, John Campbell, live from Zaxby's Northwest Expressway and MacArthur. Some of this will be delayed, and you'll watch this at some other point like a podcast, but we are live here at Zaxby's. Thank you for tuning in whenever that may be, thegospelstation.com Sports and Talk or Facebook Live. Our sports director, Luke, is with us. Luke, will we be on the YouTube channel as well? We'll be on the YouTube channel as well. So you can find us in multiple venues and mediums, and we're grateful for it. Proud to sponsor Bethany Bronco Athletics, specifically as we are getting close to the end of football season. Got a lot to talk about with head coach, Coach Arthur, who's been so gracious to us by giving up the time to come visit with us and hang out with us. Of course, we're trying to feed him, and so we are here at Zaxby's having some wings. You know, Zaxby's does the chicken tenders, they do all that kind of stuff, but they've also got wings here and some good fries. Those crinkle cut fries, and so we're having a good time out here now. Let's bring in Coach Arthur. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. What a interesting game Friday with Tecumseh down 20-7, and where I'm starting to sweat some bullets in that press box. And then we talked about it with the players. We talked about it when we were broadcasting the game. The flip was switched, and then we go on a 42 points unanswered run, and it was even hard to kind of process what happened. You tell us what happened there to go from down 20-7 to 49-7, and then they score, I guess, a couple times to get it to 28 or 42, and then we get to 49, and then they get to 28.
Well, I mean, a few things happen. I think, first and foremost, we decided to show up. I think there at some point in the second quarter, and decided to kind of do the things we're supposed to be doing as far as reading keys on defense and executing offensively, and so. That was one thing we didn't do a very good job of at all early in that game. And then I also know credit to them, they made some incredible throws and catches in that first quarter. And, when you do a few things like that, like they weren't able to run the ball or anything like that in most cases, but it just takes one or two big plays there, just throwing a really good ball into pretty good coverage on a couple of those. Yeah. It just takes one play right there, and so it was that obviously happened a few times there early, and then they cooled off a little bit. And so a little bit of all that kind of put together.
Well, a quarter and a half of them playing really well, especially with kind of let's throw it up to Owens or Thompson, see who can catch it. And they caught a lot of them. Now, you said they cooled off, but how much of that would be they cooled off because we did something defensively to help them cool off? A
little bit of both. I mean, we credit to our, Coach Morgan and those guys on the defensive side kind of adjusted, into playing a little more of our nickel package with another safety on the field. And we're able to you just have a lot more options in the coverage game when that's the case, as long as you can still hold up against the run game, which we did. And so, kind of they were able to make that adjustment kind of their middle of the second quarter. You saw us in a lot more three-man front. And so just gives you some more options there on the back end to kind of protect yourself and play some different coverage schemes.
And it helps when your three men are able to get into the backfield a lot. And they were, I think all of them got a sack.
Yep. Yeah, those guys, certainly did a good job. And Breck and Marcos for sure are really active on the edges. If you can get them one-on-one with an offensive tackle, they're going to win a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
And if Breck couldn't get to the quarterback, he knocked down several passes. That's always a big bonus.
Yeah, I know at least two breakups that I can remember, and maybe there may have been another one, but just alters that the throwing window for sure when he can get off of that offensive tackle, or at least get an edge. Even he doesn't even have to get all the way to the quarterback to make that difference, just with long arms and those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, we're scoring 49 points against Tecumseh. The last three games, our offense has been averaging about 43 points per game. Some of that could be just the nature of who we're playing and the flow of the game, but our offense has definitely been clicking. What would you attribute that to?
Well, just play up front, I think, is certainly important. And those guys have, offensive line-wise, we've kind of got a group of guys that are playing really, really well together at those spots and running the football effectively. I think we've run the ball pretty much at will over the last few weeks, even against Hera and Ardmore, where we didn't play as well defensively, have run the football with a lot of success. And those guys up front are to credit for that. And it's really probably the healthiest we've been at that position since about week 1. I think talking to even Chase this last week, he's obviously been playing for several weeks, but this last week was probably the first time he would have said he's 100%, since week 1, when he got the little shin kick at Noble, or week 0. So it was, and just, had that, it ended up being a pretty gruesome bruise there that just lingered for him kind of the whole season. This is probably the first time he's been 100%. So just being healthy at that position has been huge.
Yeah, and he's played great the last couple of weeks that he has. You can tell that he's a different level.
And this was kind of the first week he was even able to give us play like himself defensively. Obviously made a lot of plays from that nose position in that 3-man front. And again, this was the first time he's really been able to do that. We haven't even played him a whole lot defensively, up until this week, just because he was still pretty limited.
Speaking of that, is there any other injuries that y'all are looking at that are going to affect this week?
I mean, I think we've got a pretty good group back. I mean, we're obviously still, we're trying to get Wyatt for the little leg issue. He obviously won't play this week, and so we'll kind of see how it goes into the playoffs next week. But other than that, I think got about everybody back, probably as healthy again as we've been since early in the year, with, of course, the exception of Gabe. He's done for the year or so.
Yeah.
This might fall under the category of a good problem, but you mentioned Wyatt Kiefer potentially having a return for the first round of the playoffs. In that backfield, it might end up being a little crowded. X McGee gets 81 yards on the ground this past Friday. The sophomore has been progressing very well through the season. Teehee, in the carries he gets, has some explosiveness, and of course, more of a veteran being a senior. Brody McLaren with a quarterback run game, he gets 80 yards on Friday night. Then you throw Kiefer back into the mix. Is there enough handoffs to go around, or how do you kind of bring him back when we get to playoff time?
Well, I think kind of use all those guys just a little bit, and obviously, you've seen us run the quarterback more. That's something, we haven't done as much throughout the year, just because we obviously, just for health of Brody, we haven't run him quite as much. But as we get down to this point in the year, you're kind of at the point you got to do it in some of these games, and so we have been. And but as far as a guy like Wyatt, I think, and it's really a credit to Barron and X. Those guys have done a great job at the backfield. We've really missed Wyatt more defensively than offensively, just in terms of what he gives us. The position, that weak side, the weak side inside linebacker in our 4-2-5 is just, it's a critical spot. You look at the guys we've had play that position over the years. They're almost always our leading tacklers. They're guys who can get off blocks and play on that boundary side. And it's just it's a big position. You're asking that guy to play in the box, outside the box, in coverage, be physical in the run game. It's just you got to have a really special guy there, which Wyatt is certainly on the defensive side. And so that's really been the side where where it's hurt us the most. And so that would be the most beneficial thing that we would have to having him would be on that defensive side. And obviously he's been great at tailback too, the weeks we've had him.
Yeah. Well, before we get into too much playoff talk, and we'll have a segment where we do that, but we'll just kind of touch on the fact that Friday night, there's really no implications towards the playoffs or even any of the standings, because Medill has forfeited a district game earlier in the season, and so none of their district games count towards anything. Now, as a coach, this is kind of a glorified scrimmage to a certain degree, but I'm sure there's some things that you want to happen on Friday night. So what are those specific goals that you want to see and maybe that you're implementing this week with the team?
Well, I think one of the big things is we need to come out Friday night and not play a first quarter like we did this past week. And some of that is, some of that is youth and guys having to learn how to, be prepared to play regardless of who the opponent is or regardless of what the situation is that week. And so, being able to come out and do that from the very start, I think is critical this week, because that is what we want to do. Is we want to play well early, execute offensively and defensively, and then we'll kind of see where the game takes us from there, and hopefully get, be able to play some young guys and get them some experience and those kind of things.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping for, is to see some of the young guys get to play significant, plays, significant minutes. Speaking of that, are there any young guys that you're expecting to kind of step up for this, or for that you're wanting to see a little bit more of in this game?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously been, we've had some guys throughout the year that have just due to injuries and stuff. You've seen a few of their names, guys like X McGee and those kind of things, and so those were guys that you would kind of point to. Of course, we've seen they've played well at times. Even seeing a couple of those ninth graders. Payne Sanders is a guy who's played a little bit of defense for us, just kind of getting him a taste in there in a few situations. Yeah. Coach Gonzalez does a great job of getting those guys in and at least getting them a few reps, but seeing him on both sides of the ball, I think he's a big, good frame guy that's going to be a really good football player down the road. Max Green's another one of those ninth graders playing outside linebacker and some H-back and stuff for us. That's going to be a really good player down the road. So just seeing some of those ninth grade guys get in there and get a chance, and they're obviously guys that practice hard for us all year and give us a great look, and let them get in there and get some minutes.
One name I think we would like to see, I don't know if there's any injuries or any other problems, but Cruz Burleson seems to be a potential high caliber athlete for the Broncos. He's had a couple drops this season, and so maybe mentally a little upset himself or down, but maybe this is an opportunity for someone like that to get going.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy that can make plays. I think if you watch us on Monday nights in JV games, I mean, he's a guy that makes a bunch of plays and catches a bunch of balls and those kind of things. And so, he's definitely one we'll look at. He does a nice job on the defensive side too. Good tackler, and even a little undersized, but man, he plays hard and flies around, and offensively just has kind of a knack for finding the window and those kind of things. A little bit, like we saw from Wyatt Geisler last year, kind of finds even though he's a little smaller guy, is able to find the void in the defense and get where he needs to be to be open.
Last question before we take a break and talk about playoffs. But Coach, I'm kind of curious in your mentality with this. On paper, it's a no-brainer. We walk over Medill. They're 0-9. They don't have a win in the last two seasons, basically. I mean, they've lost, I think, 17 straight games. It's senior night. I don't know much about the team except they've lost a lot. Do you go into this with, hey, we're so much better, let's just be sharp, play a couple good quarters, and then let's get out? Or do you play it up like, hey, they got nothing to lose, this is their senior night, they're going to give it everything they got? Or is there a balance between the two of your communication to our team?
I mean, I would say there's definitely a balance between the two, but I think you also are looking at, we as a team we're still learning how to, show up and play well and execute at a high level ourselves. And so I think from that perspective, yeah, we're going to go in here and we're going to treat it pretty much, at least at the start, like any other game, just because, we haven't started the best really for about 3 weeks now. Probably against Harrop, Ardmore, and Tecumseh, we haven't played great first quarters any of those times, and so that's really a focus this week and that's a learning deal for us. Also, I would say it kind of depends on, for instance, Medill this week, they are extremely unorthodox offensively. We're going to see some crazier formations than we've seen all year. A lot of guys in the backfield, just in random places. A lot of guys on the line of scrimmage, unbalanced formations, eligible tackles, all that kind of stuff. And so really just something like that, we've got a game plan and have that and be ready to defend that, just because it's so unorthodox. And so from that perspective, we are spending time on them like we would anybody else, just because the nature of what they do, you leave that eligible tackle on the backside uncovered, there's a big pass play regardless of the talent level or how many wins anybody's got. You got to be able to take care of those things. So kind of by nature, we're game planning them like we would anybody else, for sure.
Well, John Hickman, John Campbell here with head coach John Arthur, Zaxby, Northwest Expressway, and MacArthur. We're going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back. We got a lot to talk about. We've got playoff action that is ahead. Bethany is going to be in the playoffs, and we're going to talk about who our potential opponent is and what that looks like for our Broncos moving forward. So y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Your home and your car are more than just things. They're where you make your memories, and they deserve the right protection. At Blake Nightingale State Farm Insurance, well, he gets it, and that's why he's there. For your home, life insurance, car, and more, call Blake Nightingale 405-728-1313. Blake Nightingale State Farm Insurance, 7304 Northwest Expressway. Like a good neighbor, Blake Nightingale is there. State Farm Insurance.
Come see us down at Smoothie King. We have two amazing locations to serve you. 5914 Southeast 15th Street in Midwest City and 5921 Southwest 3rd Street, located right in the heart of Oklahoma City. Folks, we have the awesome Dude Perfect smoothie. We have wonderful enhancements to get you ready for your workout. Rule the day. Smoothie King is your one-stop shop for delicious smoothie action. Come see us at Smoothie King.
Got hair that needs some cutting? Head on down to Fresh Clips at 5915 Southwest 3rd Street. Fresh Clips can take care of everyone, young or old, and they offer beard trims, color treatments, wax and shampoo services, not to mention their senior discounts. Don't take your head anywhere else. Call Fresh Clips at 405-506-0956 and visit them at 5915 Southwest 3rd Street.
Yo, what's up, guys? My name is Riley, owner here at Victory Mattress Outlet, and my job is to help individuals get a quality night's sleep on our name brand mattresses for prices they can't afford. I have a great offer for you right now. If you go to this website, victorymattressaoutlet.com/win, WIN, fill that form out, and you got a free coupon for a buy one mattress, get one 50% off. We look forward to seeing you. Have a great day.
Stan's Plumbing is your locally owned full-service licensed and bonded plumbing company, proudly serving the Oklahoma City Metro for over 30 years. Stan's provides all types of plumbing services like faucet and toilet repairs, sewer repair and trenchless pipe replacement, water heater repair and installation, both tank and tankless, plus drain cleaning and jetting. All plumbers arrive with fully stocked trucks and can resolve your plumbing problems in a timely manner. Since 1988, Stan's Plumbing has held itself to a higher standard in plumbing. Call 405-721-5100 to schedule your appointment. Stan's Plumbing, Valley Service in a dirty business. 405-721-5100.
At the home of the Gotta Have It, you'll find Apple Tree Antique Gallery, located in the heart of downtown Bethany at 6740 Northwest 39th Expressway. Enjoy spacious shopping with up to 77 unique vendors across more than 10,000 square feet, offering everything from jewelry and clothing to one-of-a-kind treasures and so much more. Don't miss our third Friday weekend specials every month. And yes, we're open Sundays. Call us at 495-0602. Apple Tree Antique Gallery in Bethany, home of the Gotta Have It.
We're back here on the Bethany Broncos Coaches Show. John Hickman, John Campbell, joined by head coach John Arthur of the Bethany Broncos. I know our internet has been a little spotty here at Zaxby's. The food is not spotty, but the internet has been for us. But this will be on Facebook, posted there. We're also live on Facebook, but you can catch up anything you may miss right there on our Facebook post, Gospel Station Sports and Talk. But we're also on YouTube as well. We'll have a YouTube channel. A lot of videos on that channel, so you can go there as well to watch some of our shows, including this one. And, of course, streaming, thegospelstation.com. You got to scroll to that Sports and Talk button. Now, you need to know all of that, especially the gospelstation.com, because Friday night the game is on that stream. And if you're not making the trip to Medill, then please tune in to us. Even if you are making the trip, you should still tune in to us as we talk about the game. We have a great time talking about our players and coaches and the job that they're doing this year. And I've been very proud of our Broncos on and off the field, by the way. A lot of good things happening with our Broncos off the field as well. But, Coach, we talked about how this game isn't going to impact the standings. We're heading into the playoffs. And by all accounts, unless some crazy miracle things happen, it looks like Elgin will be our first-round opponent, defending state champ Elgin. So we're not unfamiliar with them. We actually got to see a little bit of who they are and what they do in that preseason scrimmage. And I feel like talking with you after that, you were impressed with how your guys handled and rose up to that challenge.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely it's obviously going to be a big challenge. They have a group of guys from last year. They also lost quite a group of guys. They've got their tailback back, who's obviously one of the top players in Class 4A, and you're gonna see a heavy dose of him with the football in his hands, and so having to tackle a guy like that is always a challenge. And so, but yeah, we've scrimmaged them for a number of years now, and even this year, played them very even in that. And I thought our guys physically, held up very well, and certainly looking to draw on a little bit of that and give us some confidence going in.
So, is there any scenario where y'all come in third?
I have pored over this about everything possible, and I don't think so.
And you teach physics, so you would know all the formula.
I don't think there is. I think Hera right now it looks like Blanchard will most likely end up third, and Hera will be fifth.
Hera would have to beat Tuttle for this to.
Hera would have to beat Tuttle. That could flip Blanchard and Hera. There are some other things if Chickasha beats Blanchard. There are some other scenarios, but none of those scenarios I've found change us any. Just kind of how the points have worked out. We've got a pretty good advantage on Hera in the points. They have no way of overtaking us in the points. They would have to win, which would not make us tied anymore. And so I don't think there's a way.
So yeah, so y'all can already be all right. We're looking at Elgin, looking at the film. What do we need to watch out for with them? I mean, you said the tailback, but like they win like Tuttle by
Sure.
big numbers. So they got a good defense on top of their offense.
Good defensively, bring a lot of pressure. I think one thing that's going to benefit us this week is they're actually defensive structure wise very similar to Medill. So it's been a good week to at least the front we're blocking in the run game and those kind of things are going to be very similar. Obviously some different guys doing it than what you'll see versus Medill. But allows us to at least practice against the same defensive front for O-line purposes and all that kind of stuff.
We were talking with Griffin Looper and Ozzie Brown before you, Coach, and I think it was Griffin that said what Elgin is good at is they're basic, but they execute basic well. What do you think he meant by that, and would you agree with his sentiment?
Yeah, I mean they're really at their best when they are letting their five guys up front who are really good block for probably the best tailback in the state. There may be some other football players in Class 4A that are a little better football players than him, but as far as running the football, being tough to get on the ground, physical, hard runner, good speed, them turning around and giving that guy the football it's what they're best at. And it's in big games. That's what they're going to do. If you go back even last year to the state title game against Tuttle, I think he carried the ball like 37 times or something like that for 220 yards. I mean, he was when they got in a big game, they're going to run stretch. They're going to run inside zone. They're going to run power with him. Very basic stuff. And they're really good at it.
So I can't remember if it was Ozzie or who, but said that they have the best offensive line in 4A too. Better than Tuttle's?
I don't know that they're better than Tuttle this year. They were the group of guys they had last year were by far the best offensive line in Class 4A, maybe in the entire state in any class, honestly. They did graduate, I think, 3 or 4 of those guys, but they've got a really good group. They got a right tackle who's really, really impressive, gets up and runs, pulls on counter and stuff. Just, again, really good physical, just solid at all 5 positions. Sometimes you can find a weak one here and there that you can take advantage of. They're just solid at all 5 of them.
Well, it looks like we're done here playing in Bethany. We go on the road to Medill, then we go on the road to Elgin. In playoffs, how much does being on the road impact the game?
I really over the years we've won just as many big games on the road as we have at home.
Yep.
And in some ways I've found over the years it's even easier just because you get them a little earlier in the day. You have a pregame meal built into your travel schedule, and you're in a little more of a like everybody's focused and ready to go. Whereas at home, you may let them go for a couple hours in the afternoon before they have to come back, and who knows what they're doing, or are they really resting like they should, or are they eating at McDonald's instead of the stuff they need to, and getting their bodies ready. So
thank you for not saying Zaxby's, Coach.
I know
you're a pro.
No, but just sometimes road games you're able to be in a little more of you're able to control what they're doing all day and all afternoon. And so in some ways, it's a little better.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked to you about this before, but do you have a pregame kind of ritual that you go through?
Yes, I do. Pretty, I don't know. They say coaches are pretty superstitious. I don't know. I'm superstitious about some things and not about other things, but we as a team go down to the field and they walk the field, and I always say a few words to the team, a couple hours before the game, before we get into the warm up thing. And then, I just put some AirPods in and walk around the field, do a lap around the field, say a little prayer, get myself ready to go. I'm not really big for chumming it up with the other coaches while we're getting ready. I'm a little more trying to get in the zone and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to standing around and shooting the breeze. But that's just me. Some of these coaches stand around at the end and talk about who knows what, just to kind of keep their minds off of it. We all have different stuff that we do, but that's kind of me.
What are you listening to with your?
Oh, I know this one. At least one time I busted him.
I'm a church worship music guy. That's what gets me ready to go. I'm from a family of church worship leaders and all that. So that's what I'm in on.
I'm not
a big music person. Other than that, I don't really listen to music a whole lot. So.
Well, I felt bad, John, because I went down for a pregame interview and he was locked in. I didn't know what he was listening to because he sneaks those AirPods in as he's doing his lap, but he was jamming out to some CC Winans, and he was having a moment there, and I interrupted it. Sorry,
you were expecting like "Welcome to the Jungle" or whatever.
Because you're based, yeah, you were locked in. It was awesome.
There's some good stuff. I got a playlist.
Yes. Well, Coach, our middle school team, just want to touch on this real quick. I think it was a 7th grade team that went undefeated. Is that correct? And what about the 8th grade team?
Yeah, 7th grade team was 8-0 and beat all the teams on our schedule. Obviously, Blanchard, Tuttle, Chickasha had some big wins. Jones, had some big wins over all these teams, which is good to see. But yeah, it's a really good group. It's a group that's been and really our 8th grade group now is probably the first group that we will have that has played for our youth program. As I've got an 8th grader, and we kind of started that team when they were in 4th grade. So they will have had about 3 years of youth league. So our 7th graders had about 4 years. So we're kind of getting some of these groups that have played for Bethany youth football for a number of years, which is going to be a great benefit as we go forward. I think that's one thing that always kind of set Bethany, not set them back, but it was just different. Some of our kids played youth football, but they didn't play for the Bethany Broncos. They were playing for all these league teams because we're in the city, compared to places like Blanchard or Tuttle or Elgin or Newcastle where they're playing for their school. And so I think that's been the best part about it is we get these kids wearing Bethany Broncos stuff, and they're practicing on our field right now, and we got great relationships with all those coaches and stuff. And so that's going to start. I think our 8th grade class now will be the first group that we kind of see that benefiting us in a pretty major way. And like I said, our 7th grade was 8-0. Our 8th grade team, they were actually 1-7 last year as 7th graders. Lost about 5 really close games, and then they came back this year and playing the same schedule, ended up 5-3. So they lost. I think they lost a 2-point game to Chickasha this year. They lost a 2-point game. They lost a 2-point game to Tuttle, and they lost. I can't remember the other one they lost, but the two of those were obviously 2-point games to some pretty good teams. Chickasha's 8th grade teams is a really good team. Got for whatever I don't know how they do this, but a top 10 quarterback in the nation in that class. And so played really great all year. But again, 5-3 for that team was quite a turnaround.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Coach.
Quarterback in the nation for that class?
For 8th grade?
However they do that, that's supposedly yes.
I didn't even know they were ranking kids that.
Oh, anybody will rank them if you give them a website or something for people to pay a membership to.
Is that kid already getting talked to by D1 schools?
I haven't heard anything about that yet.
Didn't Lane Kiffin one time offer a 7th grader a scholarship?
I remember hearing stories about that.
I don't know what happened. I think the kid ended up being a wide receiver. who knows? But Coach, thank you so much for joining us this evening here at Zaxby's on the Bethany Broncos Coaches Show. We always appreciate it, Coach.
Sure.
Best of luck on Friday night, and we'll be along for the ride, cheering on the Broncos. Looking forward to a big victory, and then on to playoffs. We got one little break here, and we'll wrap up our show. Want to remind you, if you're listening here and it's kind of gone in and out a couple times, we will be without interruption on Facebook Live, posted, and YouTube as well. So y'all stay with us. We'll wrap up in just after this.
Step up to the next level at Coyote Pond, home of the $20 FFL transfer. Coyote Pond at 5804 Northwest 63rd and MacArthur makes the difference in customer service with a selection of just about everything with top dollar loans and rock bottom prices. Locally owned and operated, Coyote Pond is the destination headquarters for Bethany, Yukon, and Oklahoma City, and the home of the $20 FFL transfers. Call 405-470-7999 or go to coyotepond.com. That's 405-470-7999 and coyotepond.com.
John Campbell is your local health market agent that specializes in Medicare. Instead of talking through an 800 number, talk face-to-face with your local agent, John Campbell, to answer all your questions and find the company that best fits your needs. John Campbell Health Market serves Yukon, Bethany, and the surrounding area and will travel across the state of Oklahoma to meet with you. Call John Campbell Health Markets at 405-200-8414. Call 405-200-8414. C&J Sporting Goods at 6604 Northwest 38th Street has been serving Bethany and the Metro for over 30 years, with 3 generations ready to serve you with the best shopping experience of product knowledge and customer service anywhere, with a wide selection of guns, ammo, ear and eye protection, law enforcement equipment, hunting, camping, and survival gear. If they don't have it, they will order it for you. Veteran owned and family operated. Call 405-789-8102. C&J Sporting Goods.
Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's does. Come by Zaxby's Chicken Fingers and Buffalo Wings at 5859 Northwest Expressway and find out why Zaxby's is Oklahoma's go-to for great chicken meals. Zaxby's has the chicken fingers, the sandwiches, the wings, and the sauce that will leave your mouth watering. Now with the all-new lemon pepper line of meals. Late Night Zax introduces the Zappetizer Trio and keeps the drive-thru open after 8 p.m. So use the Zaxby's app to earn rewards, and remember that Zaxby's will cater your event. Head to 5859 Northwest Expressway or call 405-603-8190 to make your Zaxby's order now. 405-603-8190. Zaxby's.
This is the Bethany Broncos Coaches Show. John Hickman, John Campbell, and our sports director, Luke Young, hanging out over there away from the camera, but this is us right here. You can see a QR code here. We can listen online, gospelstation.com. Zaxby's drink. But John Campbell, hey, you got to go see our Thunder on Sunday have another victory in the belt as they are 7-0 on the season. I think it's a 10 o'clock game tonight or something. It's something crazy with, I don't understand why we're
Warriors, right?
Maybe Portland. Yeah, 10 o'clock tonight. Weird. So tell us what your first Thunder experience of this season, how that went.
I don't know what to really say. They destroyed New Orleans. New Orleans started off kind of strong, but you could just tell that one team was way better than the other. And they didn't have Chet Holmgren or
J-Dub,
the other Jalen Williams. So, I mean,
yeah,
they were still able just to score at will, it seemed like.
They are started off so strong. The chemistry on that team on and off the court is still super, super strong. I just finished up the old Netflix starting 5 with SGA and running through the championship and with the Pacers and getting all the behind-scenes stuff. It was really cool to see SGA after Halliburton tore his Achilles. After winning the championship, went and visited him and had a moment with him. That was pretty special. But did you hear SGA's house got broke into?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to do that in Oklahoma City? What an idiot. Whoever, you don't do that to SGA. Come on. This is our guy. Brought him championships.
Should have done it to Mike Stoops about 10 years ago when he was our defensive coordinator.
Gosh, I don't know where you pulled that out. You went straight to, you have a grudge against Mike Stoops.
Gosh, he was terrible.
Well, our Bethany Broncos are going to be in the playoff, John, and we just need some magic to happen against Elgin.
You know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
You know how he just said that Bethany's 7th grade team and 8th grade team beat Total, beat Blanchard. So you know that those kids, the 7th graders and 8th graders, they're not going to be playing for Total when they're in high school because they're going to just transfer in a bunch of players. I don't think I really like this new transfer rule. I know it's working for some of the big schools, but man, it just seems like it puts a disadvantage. And I like that the fourth graders are wearing Bethany Broncos stuff and they want to play for the Bethany Broncos when they're in high school. I would hate it if I was like this is my year, and then some transfer came in and took my spot.
Yeah, that 7th grade team undefeated for the Broncos. I think Luke is going to get to have a show with them on Monday. So maybe some of the coaches or players will be on there. So follow us on Facebook to see times and all that good stuff. But there is a 7th grader I know on that team, and that's Rocky Brady. That's Breck's little brother. So the Brady family has become a staple name here for the Broncos, with the oldest, the daughter, winning volleyball state championship her junior year. She's a Kansas State commit, going to play volleyball there. Now Breck, the sophomore, he's already got some D1 offers. He just picked up a Kansas State offer to play football as a sophomore. I mean, the offers are going to roll in. What do they say? Meow or something? They've got some sort of Kansas State saying. I don't know what it is, but I'll just say it's meow.
I know his sister's going there, but I hope he doesn't go there.
I know. I hope he doesn't either. But all that to say, as I get to Rocky, we've heard Coach Arthur, maybe some others, say that he might be the best athlete out of all the Bradys.
It'll be fun to see him when he comes up.
I'm wondering, which makes you think, could some of those 7th or 8th graders actually help the team this year? There's such a gap between a senior and an 8th grader. But hey, as a freshman, Brady was starting some games for the Broncos. So who knows? The depth has been an issue.
Last year we had a lot more seniors. I mean, it was tough to get him playing time, and then he earned it.
Well, obviously we're Bronco homers, and for good reason. We see a lot of the good with the team. But John, before we wrap up our show here at Zaxby's Northwest Expressway in MacArthur, what's your prediction for the state championship, a 4A for Oklahoma? I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I? Right?
Bethany wins 72-0.
You're saying
we're making it back.
So Bethany versus Tuttle, we're gonna end up in the state championship game.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think it'll be Elgin, but looking at just how the seasons have gone, both of those teams, they're a cut above almost everybody else. So I'm pulling for Elgin.
Good call. That would be a back-to-back state championship.
And I know we do Tuttle, but I don't know.
Yeah. And Luke's over here, the voice of
the Tuttle Tigers.
He's also the voice of the Broncos as well. Luke and I will be doing Bethany basketball as we get really close to that kicking off in early December. I think the 2nd maybe is the first game, but we'll do some run up to Bethany basketball as well. But Tuttle is looking really good. I think they're probably a step above Elgin this year. And who knows, maybe we can shock the world, get in a close one with the Elgin and move on. But it would be a tough going for our young Broncos. But just making the playoffs is a good experience for sure. And but who knows? We've bumped up with Elgin before, so maybe something good would happen. John, you want to sign off for us?
All right, come to Zaxby's. Tell them that you heard us. Get there. I mean, I like their wings and their salad. So come by and check them out at the Northwest Expressway in MacArthur.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you later Friday night.